it's an Ace costume, I guess.
So,
But yeah, heavily inspired by Psycho Circus and a little bit of the Alive 35 Tommy gear. So
and if
they looked
people that
they
see
looked
this,
cleaner.
we are going to be talking about Ace's album. We're using this as the intro. Like, this is how professional we are, folks.
It's about as professional as normal, right?
Yeah. You just dressed up and we didn't get the memo, as you said.
That's it. Yeah. You
Right.
should have let me know. You could have worn my jean gear. It would have been really inappropriate.
Probably wouldn't have fitted in it, dude.
It's potato potato.
Yeah. So Ace's album is out. I think it's 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Nice.
10,000 volts. Is it the first all original stuff in 5 years? Because I think the last one was an Origins album.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Now, I'm going to do a disclaimer right now. I actually feel that every time Ace puts an album out, the quality of the album is dependent on the producer and the drummer more than Ace. Ace can play guitar, we know that.
Yeah.
If Ace doesn't have someone to produce him, he tends to just sort of go by the wayside. And anytime Ace plays with a great drummer, his playing improves. And I'll use when Peter Criss didn't make the plane for 2001 and Eric Singer stepped in.
Oh, you're already getting people offside, Eric. Yeah, people are going to be listening to this and be like, no, I'm out. I'm done.
It's only going to get worse, folks. I felt Ace, while he may not have been the most sober, I felt he played the best he has in ages. And nothing against Matt Starr, his old drummer, who was a great drummer. But Scott Coogan in the live arena just kills it. And this album, he's got Anton back on 3 songs, and some that people may not know, Joey Casada. So, do you guys know who Joey Casada is?
No.
Know the name.
So
I think
Joey,
Facebook.
yeah, goes right back to his connection to Kiss. Is in a band called Z02, who opened for Kiss. I think it was on the Kiss Poison tour.
All right.
But Joey also played as part of Bruce's band in the Kiss Can't Goodbye. He plays with Eric Martin from Mr. Big, and he plays in Trixter.
Nice. Pretty prolific then in the rock circles.
So where that connection is, of course, is Trixter's Steve Brown connected with Ace through Ace's fiance, and played a massive part in this album. So
nice.
I say we just go from the fucking get-go, from the first track, 10,000 volts, the first single. Rod, thoughts?
Well, I don't think you could get a better lead-off track, right? It's really, really good. And he's delivered a really high-quality video to go with it. And yeah, I mean, it speaks for itself. Everyone's heard it. Everyone loves it. So it's really well done.
Space Kurt?
Yeah, it's I mean, it's the whole album is classic Ace, but this just feels almost like it could be a sequel to something like Shock Me. Like it's a really, the whole album's very nice and got that sort of 70s Ace swagger, but this is just, yeah, agreed as being an absolute killer lead single off it. And I mean, why wouldn't you call an Ace song something like 10,000 volts? It's pretty great.
Yeah, I like the song. I don't think it's one of the strongest on the record, but we'll get into that. But I think it was the right choice to lead off. So originally, Ace has been doing the rounds. Originally, the album was going to be called Walking on the Moon, which is the newest single. But then 10,000 volts came in as one of the latest songs, which is, yeah, as you said, it's like pairs well with Shock Me. He's been playing it live. He's tried it a couple of times live, and Ace in the studio compared to Ace live is a bit hit and miss. But the videos I saw, he actually did a really respectable job of it. Like, he didn't. It looks like he actually rehearsed it a little bit, and Ace is never gonna get to the mic on time sometimes. He might not hit the solos
Yep.
100%, but to me, if you go to an Ace show expecting some sort of like operatic Pavarotti shit, you're in the wrong place.
Ace is always very much about the vibe, not so much that being technically precise may not, entirely be 100% in time. And I think that plays back to what you said, the start of, like, if he's got a good drummer, if he's got a good bass line to work off, then he's much closer in a lot of a lot of situations. But you don't go to Ace expecting flawless. You go to Ace expecting to see rock and roll.
And I think that's part of the fun of it, is you don't know what show you're going to get with Ace. He could be dead on, he could be sloppy, but he just goes, and that's fun. Walking on the Moon. So this actually features Joey on drums. And it's one of the ones, by the way, 10,000 volts, Anton Fig on drums. And if you go on Ace's social media, he actually has a video of the take that Anton used for the album. So you see literally Anton start the camera, walk behind the kit, say what take it is, count it in. And
nice.
He's playing like a tiny 3-piece kit. It's so cool.
That's wild.
Yeah,
I have to check that out. I've got his socials up at the moment, just checking out some of the.
Yeah, I think it's on Ace's Instagram, maybe.
Okay.
But I don't know. I know that I watched it in prep for this, and it's just like, you can see why that guy is like one of the most in-demand drummers of all time. Because he's got a tiny kit and he just fucking belts it. He doesn't care. But yeah, we'll go. Yeah, now, Walking on the Moon. Space Kurt, you go first on this one.
Yeah, it's this was, I don't know. I listened to it a little bit. I've listened to it a couple of times, and it's one of those ones that just doesn't. There's something about it. I can't put my finger on it. There's something about it that just doesn't quite grab me, and I don't quite know. It seems a little bit sort of, for lack of a better word, just a little bit spacey, almost.
Yep.
It's a real interesting one. I think it's going to be one of those ones that as I listen to the album from cover to cover more, I think this is going to be one of the ones, pick it up on vinyl, and it's really going to have
the sleeper track.
Yeah, it's going to have that sort of feel that you're looking for, rather than, I don't know, it's almost, it just hasn't quite grabbed me yet.
Right. Okay. Rod?
I really like it. It took me probably 2-3 listens to get right into it, but I think one thing I found with the album as a whole was really well sequenced, and you go from the rocker to the slower, vibey, bluesy almost type song, and I think it fits really well when you listen to the album in sequence. Listening to it by itself, it probably doesn't have, like Kurt just said, that feel to it. So yeah, no, I'm really impressed with that song too. The video, interesting. But yeah, no, it's a good track. I really like it.
Yeah. I love it, but I think it's actually missing one thing. And if I was going to be that kind of, I'm not going to say critic because that's wrong, but if I was going to be the producer, I think it's missing orchestration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
It does have that spacey vibe.
It needs just a little bit extra there, just to.
I'd love to hear a remix with some like ambient, not to use the Kiss connection, but Journey of 1,000 Years orchestration vibes.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that really. That may be what hasn't grabbed me. Maybe it just feels that little bit, not empty, but
just
not as full as it could. Yeah. That was one of the things that jumped out at me about the whole record, is it's that very meat and potatoes rock record. There's not really anything other than just guitars, bass, and drums and vocals. Like it's and at times it sort of feels like he could do with just a touch, a sprinkle.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good idea. Like, the video, it's funny. Every time I've seen a still from it, whatever's on the front of him looks like Technicolor cow udders. That's not a good look.
I haven't seen the video yet, so I'll have to check that one out once
yeah.
we wrap this. I'm gonna have to check it out. That
Just
sounds
go on his socials while we're talking right now, and you will see a still from it for sure. But I think that's what makes it funny, is that Ace is basically taking the piss out of himself, really, and he's having fun with it.
Yeah,
it's a very CGI video.
Wow, yeah, no, that's yeah. I was like, how am I gonna? No, I found it. I 100% found it.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Look, Ace got that spaceman costume off Wish, but that is okay.
Boy, howdy, did he ever.
it's amazing to see the difference between people's reactions to 10,000 volts to walking on the moon now that they've actually seen a film clip. I think if they heard the song without the film clip, there might have been a different feel to it as well.
Maybe that's something. Maybe I'll have to try that and see whether it actually grabs me after watching it with the music video.
I think the video is actually really fun. And
yeah,
but both videos so far have had that fun element. There's not like 10,000 volts was a little bit more like, oh, we're a rock band and there's some smoke and some lights and some effects. Where Walking on the Moon is all green screen with CGI added, which I think makes it funny.
Yeah, I was noticing that even just the little video of him like doing his thing.
Yeah,
it's a sea of green.
Sea of green.
It's a sea of green.
Sea of green and cannibals.
That's it. There's hopefully that's a B-side on the
YouTube.
album. Yeah. Sea of green and cannibals.
Yep. Cosmic
wow.
Heart. We're setting the bar real high, folks.
Yeah. We are a highbrow channel, yes.
Yes. Cosmic Heart. I'm gonna kick this one off. I actually really dig it. It's a bit of a laid back song. It's a bit, I'll use the term sloppy because that's what a good rock song is. That sort of really Stonesy vibe, which Ace does channel a lot.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he's not trying to push himself vocally, that he's just delivering it in his own Ace style, like he's not trying anything. And I don't see it making a live set. I think it's just a bit too laid back for the live set. But I think it's, as Rod said before, when you go into the sequencing of the album, it makes sense. So
I think this is one of those.
Oh, okay, go.
Sorry, I think this is one of those albums that's really going to benefit from that consistent playthrough.
Yeah,
it's not going to be like a streaming album. It's going to benefit, like all of Ace's albums do, of playing through from start to finish.
Yeah, definitely.
Rod?
Yeah, this is the one song I sort of haven't been able to grasp properly. And I think it's that thing that I've sort of listened to different songs at different times, just, all over the shop. But when I listen to it straight through, you get that feel, and you understand. I understand where you're coming from, how good it is. But to grab it by itself and just play it, I just go, oh, I don't know if it's just the laid back vocals or what it is, but it's just not there for me. But when you play the full album start to finish, it works. So yeah, it's an interesting one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's this was one of the ones that was, it sounds very, very like early to late 80s Ace. Like it just, the vocals are, it's that classic Ace almost drawl to it. He's got that sort of it's just it just sounds perfectly Ace, the vocals on that. It's really good. I like the riff as well. And it's got that sort of, it's almost not bluesy, but it's a very chill as far as the song goes. It's one of the more chill ones on the album. So it's it's a good one.
To me, it goes back to I reckon it's very based on his influences, like the Creams and the Stones and Zeppelin-y kind of stuff. It's a bit retro, which I think suits him. Next, Cherry Medicine. I have seen this song getting completely shit panned in reviews, and the funny thing is, I love it. I think it's fun. It's something that you probably would have found on the first Frehley's Comet album quite easily. It's a simple rock song. There's nothing special to it, and it's just he delivers it well. I think it's fun. I think this is going to be the third single. I think we'll be seeing this right before release day. So, Curt, thoughts on Cherry Medicine?
It's my favorite off the album.
Wow.
Straight out. It's my favorite. It's the one that I've heard the whole album through first. I was like, man, I need to go back and listen to that again. That was great. It's a very Frehley's Comet song. Really, really hooky chorus. It's just everything that I wanted out of an Ace track. It's that one. I dig it. I dig it a lot. Hopefully it's one that makes it to the live sets, because I feel like maybe sped up in a live situation just a touch could really go off.
That's what worries me, is Ace is tending to slow his songs down live.
Oh, well, then fuck it. It's not on the list.
Rod?
Yeah, no, I echo both the sentiments from you guys. It's a really, really cool song. Definitely high up there for me as well. Just for the same reasons, you know. It's very catchy and it's very Ace, right? So
yeah,
what can you say about that?
As is the next song. 40 years since it was first recorded. Back into My Arms Again. So originally a part of the 84 Ace Power Station demos, with the original lineup of Frehley's Comet, which is Anton, John Regan, Arthur Stead on keyboards, and Richie Scarlett. Everyone's had a really shitty version of the demo for years. The masters leaked, funnily enough, once the album got announced. I think whoever was holding on to them went up, fuck it, here's the original. And up they went. He's changed it around a bit, and I believe he sort of put this on the album as a tribute to John Regan, who passed away last year. It was written by Ace and the keyboardist Arthur Stead. So it'd be interesting to see if the credits remain the same when the album comes out. And I read that Steve Brown actually pushed Ace to record this, because I was just sitting in the studio one night watching videos back on YouTube, and that was in a list. And Steve was like, "What is this?" And Ace was like, I can't remember, turn it on. And then they listened to it and they chose, Steve was like, "You've got to record this song." So I love the original. I love the keyboard heavy original. I don't dislike this, but I think I'm so ingrained in hearing that original 84 version that I kind of expected a little more from this. It's a great song. It's going to be a great song regardless if it was 84, 2024. But I think I'm so ingrained in the original that it's hard to get used to this one. What about you guys?
Love it. I think it's great. And I really dig the acoustic intro as well. That's really good. It gives it a little bit of a taste of something different. What would you add to that to get you back in the song again?
He cut down the intro a little bit. If you listen to the original before the vocals come in, there's a couple of bars that have been cut out.
Right. Yeah, it seemed very short, didn't it? You know? Yeah.
And well, the thing is, and also Ace is now 40 years older, so his voice is different. He sung a lot higher in the 80s.
Yeah.
I don't think I dislike the song. I think I'm just so used to hearing that original demo that now this sounds almost overproduced.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because I'm so used to a crappy fucking demo, you know. It's a great song. I'd love to see maybe Ace and the band strip it down to acoustic and actually just come out in the middle of the show on some stools and bust out an acoustic version of it. I think that would be fantastic. What about you, Curt?
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat as you. I remember you were telling me about you're the reason I found out about the demo. And I think the demo's just it is that little bit rougher because it's just it's a crappy demo version. And I don't know, it's this is one of those that I think both have their upsides. I think there's just a little something missing from the album version, but I don't know, maybe it'll grow on me over that demo. But then, the demo would have been great just to hear the demo re-recorded with sort of completely taken from the demo rather than slightly modified. So it just throws that vibe off just a little bit.
That's a good point. Maybe like with the way technology is now, thinking about what they did with that last Beatles track.
Yeah.
Might have been nice if they'd pulled John's bass from the demo and inserted that into this album track.
That could have been a nice way to do it. Surely a high quality demo exists out there somewhere.
Oh, there's demos of the master. Like, as in, like, the master tape was leaked.
Yeah.
Of all the demos.
Okay.
It's on the tube now.
To the tube.
You can find it.
That's it. Somebody will do a mix of the both of them at some point, I'm sure.
Someone will A/B it. Yeah.
Yep.
And it won't work.
No, not at all.
It will not work. All right. To me, Fighting for Life is Rip It Out in 2024. It's just, I actually would have had this start the album. If I was going to resequence it, I would do this into 10,000 volts. It's
I could see that. I could see that working really well.
It's a great song. He's done a fucking great job with it. It's literally, for me, a modern day Rip It Out, which is his calling card. What about for you guys, Rod?
Well, this and the next song, Blinded, for me are the two standout tracks on the album completely. Like, they're just, I think to me they're well sequenced where they are, because it sort of brings the album vibe straight back up after that, the ballad. So
yep,
which we don't hear much from Ace in terms of ballads of, right? But yeah, it's a brilliant track, and wow, the lyrics, it's a really mature Ace. Talking about this song and Blinded as well, really, really well written lyrics about, in a world we live in today. So, yeah, super impressive.
Yeah, totally agree. It's definitely got that modern 78 sort of vibe to it. That classic sort of that classic Ace sort of oomph.
Yep.
That his solo album had. It's here in spades. It's great. I need to listen to the lyrics a little bit more, but I think it's one of those ones that it's going to be. I think it'll be in every Ace set until the end of Ace.
Yeah,
like 100%. It's got to be.
I'd actually love to see him play as the kickoff track live once people have lived with the album for a while. Like, he'll need to give the singles their time on stage.
Yeah.
But for me, I hope he really cuts down on the amount of Kiss songs that he plays, because out of all of the members and ex-members, he has been the most productive. So I think he sort of needs to back himself a little more with his new stuff, because it stands up.
He's got enough of a back catalogue to stand on his own, do 3 sets worth of stuff without having to do a single Kiss track. So
time to drop Love Gun.
Yep, time to drop Love Gun. Fucking hell.
Time to drop Love Gun. Everybody knows that we've had it before.
Exactly.
And unless Ace is going to fly to the sound desk in a club, we don't want it.
Imagine that at the Tivoli.
He just has to jump. Just be a little.
That's it.
Hop, skip, and an Ace.
It's one of those little exercise trampolines on stage. He can just sort of launch himself over. It's great.
It's the stage dive. All right.
And then get kicked out of the Tivoli.
Ace, play the Tivoli. But it's the thing is, like, in prepping for this, I did a little bit of YouTubing of like what he's been playing, because I actually wanted to see what 10,000 volts sound like. And he's played stuff like Insane or Second Sighting with the new band. Yeah, like
right.
Yeah, which is
cool. I'm gonna have to check out some of his recent set lists.
And that, to me, that's a difficult song for him to play and sing at the same time. It's very involved, and he pulled it off really well. Yeah, so like, yeah, there's so many songs on this album that could easily find their way in. But yeah, so Blinded's the next one, and this was like, as Rod said, this was Ace being like really mature. You know, Ace has never been the guy to do what do they call it, the fuck me suck me lyrics. That's really not been his thing. But it's actually nice to see him write from a real life standpoint. Like Rod, you're all over this. I remember when you first heard it. First thing you said, like, that, what a great song.
Yeah, brilliant.
What about for you, Curt?
Yeah, it's I think it's one of those songs that, again, it's going to work really well if it gets done live.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it is one of those ones. Again, it's a little bit of a grower for me. I think it's going to take a little bit more to listen to before it really sort of grabs me, but I think it's got a whole lot of potential there. I'm gonna have to read through the lyrics. Yeah, it's I'm gonna have to stop listening to the album while I'm working and actually pay attention to it. So it's yeah, I think it's going to be one of those ones that it's going to build on me once I've really given it time to sink in. There's a couple of songs on this album that are like that. That's like, okay, cool. It demands attention.
Okay. Now, my favorite song, Constantly Cute. It's the best fucking song on the album. I will fight anyone for it. I don't care. Game on. It literally is the perfect cross between Ace 78 and 86 Frehley's Comet. It's literally a mash of those two. It's fun.
It's very fun. It's a very fun song.
Well, apparently it started as an off-the-cuff comment that his fiance made, where she goes, "Oh, they were looking through old photos of him through the years," and she said, "Oh, you're constantly cute," and he apparently said, "Don't talk anymore. I've got to write that down." And it's to me, if I could imagine the Frehley's Comet Band getting up and playing this in the set in '86. Rod?
Yeah, this one grew on me. Like, it took a couple of listens to get right into it. I think the title sort of put me off at first. I was like, what's this, all about? But 2 or 3 listens in, and listening to what you said about it the other day when we were talking about it, I thought, we'll give this one a proper listen by itself and just isolate that one song and just see how we go. And yeah, it's grown on me very quickly. So definitely up very high on the list for me. We won't fight about it, but
I'll fight anyone.
Blinded.
Fight me. Yeah.
I'm the flip side. As soon as I heard this, I was like, "Yep, that's great. I love it. Let's go." Yep. It was very, as you say, super Frehley's Comet. And I absolutely adore 86. I adore Frehley's Comet. So it feels exactly like what I hope for whenever Ace releases new material, of that same sort of fun. Like it's just, you can't help but like bop to it a little bit. It's I dig it a lot. And it is a little, the title and Constantly Cute, it's just a little goofy. It's just that little goofiness that I sort of wanted from it. So I really dig it.
It's cliche to me. It's probably a song that like Tiffany or Debbie Gibson would have probably done in the 80s because of the cliche title.
Yeah. I think that's what steered me on early, but
it makes me wonder like how people, because everyone expects Ace to do a song about space, electricity, like what all the cliche Ace terms, like whatever. I wonder how they would have reacted if this was the kickoff single. Would they have treated it differently? Because
you would have had a lot of angry Kiss fans.
I know.
It would have been great.
The comment section would have melted down.
Oh yeah. If he ever wanted to play a live gig again, he wouldn't have done it.
I hope he plays it live.
Yeah, I think it'd be a fun one live. I don't know how well it'd go down in a live setting. I don't know. I think it's going to be quite divisive. just because of, you know, you can't be super macho to a song called, you know, Constantly Cute. So, but I like that. It's unexpected and fun.
Yeah. So we've just finished off on Constantly Cute, who, you know, we all think is a great song, and the fans are going to hate it, which makes me even happier because I think Ace is doing what he wants, which is what I love.
How can you not have fun watching somebody else have that much fun?
Yeah.
Like,
And
how can you not enjoy somebody making music like that?
I would love to point this out. I don't know who is helping Ace with his socials and stuff at the moment, but some of his behind the scenes footage that he's been posting, even silly shit of him going grocery shopping, it's just hysterical. It's so much fun. Like, normally he's very standoffish when it comes to that kind of stuff, and he probably has people commenting for him and things like that. But I actually think it just shows him being himself, and love him or hate him, who cares? He's doing his thing, eh? But the one song I could have lived without on this album is the cover, "Life of a Stranger." And I know Ace said he saw it in the movie it was featured in, and thought, oh, we could change this. I would have much rather heard another Ace song, or what he did on one of his Origins albums, where he redid a Kiss song. Like, he redid Rock and Roll Hell, which was quite interesting. But, you know, I'd love to see him redo something. I'd love to see him go back and maybe re-record a song that he had a major hand in writing in, but didn't sing because he wasn't confident, like a studio version of Strange Ways or Coming Home off Hotter Than Hell. You know, I would much have preferred him to go back and do that. But what about you guys? Where are you at with it?
Yeah, I pretty well agree. It's a competent song. It's not bad. It's sort of slowed the album down a little bit for me. A little bit tonal whiplash, especially after the almost bubblegum pop of Constantly Cute.
Yep.
I don't know if I'd go as far to say that I could do without it on the album, but if I was to skip through a track, it's probably one of those ones you'll listen to it through once or twice, and it's fine.
Yep. Rod?
Yeah, look, I like it. It's 7.5 out of 10 song for me. It's there, fits the album and the sequencing that I like, and it's okay. Yeah, nothing outstanding about this one, but gets the job done, I think. So happy enough with it.
Up in the Sky is next, which is Ace talking about seeing UFOs and aliens and shit, which is 100% him.
Ace talking about space? I don't believe it.
I know. Maybe the next album we'll do a song called Down on the Ground. I don't know.
That'd actually be pretty funny. Do a sister song to it. It's just about not seeing shit in the sky.
Yep. But like, it's another fun song. I've just come to the conclusion that a lot of these songs, I talk about them fitting on Frehley's Comet. They actually fit, to me now, thinking about with his songs from Unmasked.
A little bit. I remember saying to you, as soon as I'd listened to the album through, I think the first time I listened to the album through, I was like, man, this makes me miss my Frehley's Comet shirt.
Yeah.
Because it's got that, it's got the fun of that, like, not tied down to Kiss Ace, where he had the freedom to do just stuff that was fun and stuff that he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it's almost like this album's a return to that, of just like, oh, well, I haven't done an album in 5 years. Fuck it, I'm going to have fun with this.
Yeah.
And it's almost like he wasn't trying to live up to the Space Ace. The Kiss Space Man, Space Ace, Kiss fans' idea of him. Yeah, he's doing an Ace Frehley album.
Yeah. That's it's a really good point that he's not the Space Ace, he's just doing Ace.
Yeah.
What about you for this one, Rod?
I like it a lot, actually. It's that Ace thing, right? It's got the good riffs, good solo, it's the simplistic lyrics as well, and it's a fun song, like you say. So
Yeah.
I think it really earned its place on the album for sure, especially at the back end of the album as well. It sort of just gives it a bit more of that happy-go-lucky Ace at the end of the day. So it's good.
Yeah.
Starts to wind the album down with a bit of classic Ace.
Yeah.
Almost that sort of
Yeah.
classic Kiss vibe sort of to it, I think.
Yeah.
And then it's not an Ace Frehley album without an instrumental. I, for one, actually really like his instrumentals. I always have. And this is my favorite since the original Fractured. The original Fractured Mirror is just, it's timeless. I can actually just listen to that and be happy. Like, I love his entire 78 album, but there's something about that track that is just brilliant. And when I listen to this one, I go, he's really tried hard to construct a good instrumental. And I love the fact it's not long. It's probably the shortest one he's done. What do you guys think?
Love it. Yeah, it's really good. And again, it's just Ace instrumentals. You expect that right on every album, and it's just a classic Ace. And as you say, he constructed a really good piece here, where a couple of the others have been similar in the past. Obviously, with the Fractured series and whatever, you get that. But this is just a clean, new slate he's worked on here, and he's delivered a really good product. So, very happy.
Good.
I'm almost disappointed from like a pedantic standpoint that it's not another Fractured, like Fractured Stratosphere or something like that. But it does have that. It's that really good classic outro sort of vibe. I don't know if I'd say it's. I don't know if I like it as much as some of the other ones.
Yeah.
And granted, I can't listen to Fractured Mirror without thinking of Attack of the Phantoms, which is not. I don't think that's a benefit. I think that might be a negative. But as an outro, I really enjoyed it. It's it's that nice like bookend. It's the back cover of an album.
Yeah.
And really, I like that Ace is continuing, that trend of having that sort of like a cool. This is the exclamation point right at the end. This is my little full stop.
Yeah.
Here's my punctuation to this album. We're done.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's a great little track.
So now I'm going to flip it and go, if there's anything that you could do to this album, what would it be? I'll start. I've got my thinking cap on, and
You can go.
And it's nothing bad. I would actually love to hear a Dolby Atmos mix of it, because I know that's all the trend at the moment. I'd love to hear a Dolby Atmos mix done with, like I said to you, like a couple of songs could benefit for some strings, some keys. I think an expanded edition with a Dolby remix. And I'd like to hear how they maybe started demo form. But I think I'd love to hear some extra production on it. I would kill the cover and add another song in, or a redo of a Kiss track. So Rod, anything for you?
So you meant kill the cover is in the cover of the album then for a second?
Nah.
Well, no, I like it the way it is, I think. I think the thing I'll be interested to see is how good a quality the CD is when it actually comes out in comparison to the files we've got, just to see the quality and how the production really finished. Then I think I'll have a better judgment on that one. But for now, I'm happy it is. So
You're an Apple Music guy, aren't you, Curt?
I do Spotify more than anything.
You do Spotify, okay.
At least, I mean, if I'm not buying physical CDs,
Yeah.
but it's just so hard to fucking find physical CDs in Australia anymore. So, but Spotify tends to be a little bit more useful for me. But I'm a huge proponent of physical media, and I'd ideally, if like a Blue Sky thing, like this album goes incredibly stratospherically well. I had to work a dumb pun in at some point. If it went incredibly, fantastically well, I'd love to see a deluxe version with maybe a little 5-song EP, but like a live of 5 of the tracks off the album.
Nice. Yeah, that's
and
a good
hearing,
one.
like, I think while Ace's studio stuff is really, can be really, really good, like this album it's great. Ace live has a totally different vibe for almost every track he does. I'd love to hear, a nice semi-professional mix of, soundboard recording maybe of 5 tracks off this album played live.
Great.
I think that'd be really cool. That'd be a really good way to showcase the songs that they've got, the songs that they've written, but also how that does translate to live, because that's half of Ace's appeal.
That's his meal ticket. He gets out and he does the job.
That's it.
Let's speak about live, because he does have a shitload of studio albums now out of the Kiss banner. So if you even use, say, your 78 album, your Frehley's Comet albums, Anomaly, Space Invader, all of them, what do you want to see him start bringing into the set from all of his basically non-Kiss related catalog plus 78?
Want more Comet stuff.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I really love his version of Hide Your Heart, because 80s Kiss I fucking adore. And the Hot in the Shade album I fucking adore. I want to hear more Frehley's Comet, but I really want to hear that, if that was to be done. Hell, I'd even like, a new studio recording with his current touring lineup as part of this album, I think would actually fit in really nicely. Fit in well with that sort of vibe.
Okay, yeah, like I think about more Comet stuff, and like I said, like,
all right, can't see.
Oh, you blurred it out, bro.
Censored. That's the deluxe album.
That's a deluxe. Well, Ace wasn't really sober at the time, so he may well have had trouble walking.
Yeah,
that's it.
Look, I think about seeing that video of him doing Insane. I'm like, that's really cool. I would actually love to hear him do Trouble Walking.
Trouble Walking's a great song, and I think that'd work well live too, like really well as part of his current set.
The one thing I'd love to see him do, and this isn't negative, but I know he wouldn't be able to sing and play this one at the same time, so maybe Ryan or Jeremy might take it over, but Shot Full of Rock.
Nice.
That's a quality song. I'd actually like to see him remake one of the songs from that 84 demo, which I know that when the Return of Comet did some shows, they did I'm an Animal. I don't know if anyone's heard that song. Curt, you got some YouTubing to do.
I do. I got Kiss homework. I never thought that we'd reach this point.
I'm an Animal is a great song. I'd like to see him do that. And I'd really love to see him. He has done it on the cruises and stuff like that. But if we're going to delve into Kiss, I'd love to see him do Dark Light and Two Sides of the Coin.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I think he just needs to back himself more in the live arena, and even if he just wants to be the guitar player on certain songs like that, he has 3 lead vocalists in his band.
Yeah.
Which I think don't need to be doing Paul songs or shit like that.
I wouldn't mind hearing something like even Calling to You is one of those great ones off Frehley's Comet that I think, that sort of approach where he's not the lead singer for it, but just showcasing some of the great tracks that he's put out.
Any one of those boys that, like, you got Ryan, Jeremy, and Cougs, they would pull that off easily.
Well, what about 5-card stud or something like that?
Ooh.
There's another one.
That's cool. Yeah.
And Separates one that's my favorite Frehley's Comet stuff. Love that live. That'd be cool.
I don't know if he's got one of the boys doing Breakout at the moment, but I think if he does, he should retire that one because he's done it on, like a lot over the years, and he's got far more that he can pick from. Like, if we're gonna go cheesy, kind of constantly cute song, Words Are Not Enough
Yeah, cool.
off Live Plus One. That's just a killer track.
It would have been interesting to hear a redo version of Fallen Angel, but
Yeah,
a little not to say made better, but certainly an updated version. I feel like that song's got some promise. It's always felt kind of, it sounded real fucking janky to me for a long time. So
it's a bit over Bon Jovi on the album.
Yeah. I think a little bit more of the classic sort of classic Ace, the 70s Ace vibe that the 10,000 volts has got. I think that could have really benefited.
So yeah, take the keys off that one and just and redo it with some pretty powerful guitars. That'd be a good one. And considering Ace does slow his songs down a little bit at the moment, you do have that bluesy number called "Remember Me" from Trouble Walking. He could pull that off easily.
Absolutely.
What about,
I'm surprised he's not. Yeah, I'm surprised he's not playing that as part of his set. Actually, now that you mention it, it's like that doesn't take much energy at all.
Well, to me, like, if you want to think about the things he could do, that and Dolls would be the two songs. Because that's a great song. Even if you take the weirdness out of it, such a good song.
Take the weirdness out of it, you got to have like the kids sing song bit. It's part of the charm.
Part of the charm. If you had to pick a Kiss song for him to add to the set while we're even trying to get rid of him doing them, where would you go?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's does it have to be a Kiss song that he's had a hand in writing, or can it just be like, oh, that'd be really funny, let's go with that?
Oh, look, I reckon something that he's written would be great, but not necessarily.
I mean, if we're hearing him do it live, it's still going to be Hide Your Heart. Like, that's just that it. The Ace versions always sounded just that little bit better to me, and I think that even with Ace now, with his voice being 30 years older, I reckon that'd have a really, really cool vibe. That's probably my big one that I'd want to hear.
Just Hide Your Heart, do it, Ace, get it done.
That's it. Yep.
What about for you, Rod?
I'd like In Your Face.
Oh, from Psycho Circus. There you go.
Yeah, something different. A lot of people don't like that song, but I think it's pretty cool.
It's a great song.
Yeah, Gene had a massive hand in writing it, right? But still, it's classic Ace.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool to go over live.
Anyone that's got Gene Simmons' vault or has heard the songs should be thankful Gene rewrote the lyrics.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's just say that. Ace wasn't at his best at the time, but he'd do well with that song. Gee, now I'm gonna think. I actually would like when he did it with Peter on the Bad Boys tour. I'd love to see him do Nothing to Lose.
Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah,
because Cougs could do the Peter Criss part without even trying, and that's a fun sing-along song. I'd rather see him do something like that than shout it out loud.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a, not necessarily a deeper cut, but it's certainly not one of the most common of Kiss songs that he could do. I think that'd work really well. I agree.
It's the one song I missed on the end of the road tour. I really thought that was a missed opportunity. But back to 10,000 volts. So it's produced by Steve Brown, and Steve's from Trixter and filled in for Phil Collen in Def Leppard, in case anyone didn't know that, when Phil had to take a leave of absence. So also from Trixter, and I know Trixter sort of cops a bit. I actually quite love the first Trixter album. I think it's really good. It's a really good album. I can see why Kiss had them on the road with them on, I think it was the Revenge tour they went on the road with them. You know, I think they were good for their time. Bruno Ravel from Danger Danger actually did the mastering on the album. So Ace has really kept it East Coast Jersey, late 80s guys kind of thing. He's really kept it grassroots, I'm going to call it, which I think has actually added to the quality of the album. You know, to me, it seems not overproduced. Like every album today is going to have some form of auto tune on the vocals, and there's going to be comps and stuff like that. But I think they kept that shit to a minimum.
Yeah. It feels a little bit more grounded than I was expecting. And yeah, I think now that you mentioned, you know, those guys having a hand, you know, and such a hand in it, I think you can really see that. Almost a classic way of thinking when making the album, you know, a little bit more of you know, the way it used to be done.
Yeah, a bit more old school. And I think for me, nothing wrong with the people that Ace has worked with on the last couple of albums, like his engineer. But you can almost tell that Steve has probably told him, no, that's not good enough. Do it again a couple of times, which is, you know, when you're working with someone of Ace's caliber and Ace's legendary history, I reckon sometimes people may not have the confidence to pull him up when they know he can do better.
Yeah.
And I think Steve has been very instrumental in going, do it again, do it again, do it again. Because, yeah, I really love, and like Rod said it a couple of times, and I'm looking at the track list now. It's probably his best sequenced album in years.
I think it's probably the best sequenced album I've heard since the Union self-titled album. When you listen,
there you go. There's pulling a chestnut out.
Remember to get that word in there for Union. But seriously, if you listen to that album track for track, it's really well, and it's the same with this, right? So
I'll call that. I'll say that you got that one. Yeah. We don't need to discuss my feelings of the first Union album.
No, of course not.
That's an absolutely long ass episode in itself. But no, you're right. Like, people are always going to judge the song titles and, you know, Ace playing on his character. What the fuck else do you want him to do? He's not going to go out and write Bohemian Rhapsody. Like, just.
No.
People would complain if it was too much of a departure from Ace. It's not the Ace that I was expecting. It's like, well, you're complaining when it was the Ace you were expecting. So what do you want?
Yeah, and
I think I think that I think my big takeaway for the album is that it's going to be a totally different beast listening to it on something like a vinyl record.
Yeah.
I think it's going to really. You get those people it'll flash them back to, you know, hearing 78 the first time.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the make or break for a lot of fans is hearing it as an album is supposed to be heard, you know, as it was sort of intended. And that sort of the old school production on it, that little bit more of that classic vibe, I think is going to be its real big selling points for listening to it that way as well.
Yeah, that's why I asked you about if you're an Apple user, because Apple has the Apple Lossless, where you can listen to it uncompressed through your tiny little phone. Anyway.
Yeah, blow out my $150 AirPods with, you know, really high quality audio. Great.
Yeah. But that's the thing is that, like, I really want to hear it uncompressed, as you said, like, you know, when you have something streaming through the review services that we use, it's all compressed, it's watermarked, it's all of that kind of stuff. But it's going to be that one that I actually think is going to be beneficial to really turn up. You know, good quality sound bar, good quality sound system. Push it up a little bit until it hurts.
Love it loud.
Love it loud. Oh, that's shocking.
Better be in a dual too.
Oh, yep. Oh, there we go. If he's not, he's mentioned Union and he fucking hates digipacks in one episode.
Okay, look, I will agree with digipacks. That's
They're awful.
that's a bag of wank. I hate that.
Jesus.
It's like when it's like a takeaway bag.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
little like Chinese bucket of CDs.
His first two albums through E1 have been re-released in digipacks. Right? I was like, oh, come on, you're going to give us bonus tracks and then give us a jewel case for God's sake.
Was it Anomaly was a digipack and it actually folded into
a pyramid?
Pyramid? Yeah, I remember that. I think I broke that.
One version of that. I've never attempted to make the pyramid.
I must have done it once because I remember thinking this is a terrible fucking idea. So I have to go digging and see whether it's still intact.
It just needs 3D glasses.
Right. Oh, I do have some crappy 3D glasses with the DVD somewhere, so that's I'll do photos with this on holding the pyramid.
There you go. In saying that though, not to make it sound like Kiss, but he is bringing out a lenticular cover.
There you go.
Is it lenticular in a jewel case or is it lenticular in?
It better be because that'll be
sticker on front of a cardboard box.
Don't even do that.
It's gonna happen now.
To me, doing that is literally doing your shopping at the supermarket and paying for a 30-cent paper bag to carry like cold food in for it to fall out the ass of it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just we have Ace Frehley album at home.
Yeah,
it's just not
It's through has E1 now rebranded? Because I think they call it MNRK or MRNK.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's a rebrand, but
And if they're listening, we need which album is it? No, Origins 2 needs to come out in a case, for fuck's sake. Get it out there. God, what the hell? I still haven't bought that because of that.
And that's a deal clincher for you, the Digi?
Absolutely, yeah. I hate them sitting on the shelf. Right, I've probably got half a dozen here, and I just don't like them at all. They just don't sit where
it's always good when you've got the line of like the plastic jewel cases and then like little cardboard boxes.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep it going.
And it's too fat or it's too thin. Yeah, it's just.
I've got a bunch of Lordy albums that are just like, and they get damaged really easily too. Like they get edge wear like crazy, which is.
Yeah. Definitely. I think the worst band ever were Chicken Foot with their ones, right? They were just like a cardboard, not even a digipack, their ones.
I think the most recent Steel Panther album was a digipack release as well, which is weird.
This is how bad that Chicken Foot digipack was. I was working at JB Hi-Fi at the time, bought it on digipack, and I didn't even realize someone had stolen the disc out of it until I got it to the car. Because it just feels like a fat piece of cardboard.
Yeah.
Like if you shake a jewel case, even if the CD's in there properly, it's got that rattle.
You've got to shake it hard enough to get the little prongs to shatter off, though.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's in there.
Yeah, when it's racing around.
It's got to swim.
I bought a Chicken Foot digipack and digipack only, discless digipack.
That's it.
I've still got it on the shelf for posterity.
It's a commemorative download edition.
We're
ahead of the curve.
It was an invisible disc.
That's it.
See-through picture disc.
That's why you got to tell Slash too. The 4 album. God's sake. Tell her.
Well, he'll be here in 2 weeks, so Rod, I can.
You want me to tell him? I'll tell him.
You'll tell him. and you know what he'll say? Really? I wouldn't fucking know.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
Most artists don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
And apparently someone was saying to me that digipacks have actually become more expensive to produce than jewel cases.
There you go. Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, no, I suppose that makes sense.
There's a lot of glue.
I hate that.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap this one up, guys. So I'll start with you, Rod. Give me your sort of sentence review on what you reckon people need to take away from this.
Look, this is classic Ace, definitely, 100%. The album's an 8.5 out of 10 for me, heading towards a 9 every time I listen to it. And go and buy it. It's really, really good. You won't be disappointed.
Curt?
I mean, what can be said more than it makes me want my Frehley's Comet shirt back.
Yeah.
It's everything that I was hoping for from an Ace album, and I think it really scratches that itch that maybe the last couple of releases haven't.
Yeah.
If you liked 70s Kiss Ace, it's going to be perfect for you. If you like Frehley's Comet, perfect for you. If you like his live shows, it's perfect. And I think, yeah, 8.5 out of 10. And the more I listen to it, it's probably going to go up as well.
Yeah. I'm going to make it real simple. Ace is back and we're telling you so.
Nice.
I did not think of that. That's too good.
You're in the costume, man. It was just too much for you.
Yeah, that's true. I'm overstimulated.
It's drinking too much vodka there.
That's it. Yeah. Who told you?
Yeah. Test him, people. Test him.
That's it.
All right, guys. Everyone, yeah, it's out February 23rd, so it is 2 weeks away. So, you know, by the time this post goes up, we're getting closer to that final week. I really hope everyone gives it a go and sort of gets off the message boards and
make your own decisions.
Yeah,
about the
like
songs.
Stop trying to embrace your inner critic and maybe embrace your fandom for a little while and remember why.
Remember when music was fun?
Yeah,
it's that.
Yeah, you don't need to be a keyboard warrior in, you know, and like it in secret. Just fly the flag and be happy that Ace is what this year, 73 or 72, and
yeah.
producing albums, and he's already thinking ahead. He's already going, I'm going to go Origins 3 next because I'm having fun. So you'll bitch that he doesn't put out music. You're going to bitch that he puts out music. Basically, just stop being a bitch.
That's it.
Right, dudes.
Put on your big boy pants and enjoy the album.
Put on your big boy pants and enjoy the Ace. All right, dudes. Thank you for your time. Everyone, yeah, just don't be a dick. Give it a go.
Thank you for tuning in to Hanging with Here to Zen. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and guest. Remember to add Here to Zen on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We are also on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to keep up to date on all of our new content. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all of your favorite podcast platforms. We would love if you could take the time to write us a review and leave a comments wherever you have tuned into today's episode. This helps us reach a wider audience and create more amazing content to share with you all. We are grateful for all of your support. Until next time, you have been hanging with Here to Zen.